Thank you for attending this webinar on YouTube marketing. I apologize, this is being pre-recorded on Tuesday for you on Wednesday, as I'm going to be in the hospital having an emergency procedure. Nothing to worry about. But unfortunately, they scheduled it for the exact same time as when this event was supposed to be live. Now, as a give back, I'm going to take this, what normally would have been a half-hour presentation, and expand it to cover about 45 minutes. That is because you're not going to have the opportunity to do questions and answers on this webcast. What you will get to do is send me the questions, and I will respond by email to everyone. I will put it in a document, a PDF document, and I will probably merge together any of the questions that are similar to try to make sure that I answer everyone with as much detail as possible. Now, I am recording this through a Google Plus Hangout. I'm doing it live so that it immediately goes right to my YouTube channel, where I'm going to download it and clean it up a little bit and then make it available for you for your webinar. For information, if you ever want to do this, I have a desktop, PC, not Mac, and I use a Logitech 920, which is a 1080p quality webcam. I also have on a gaming headset. It's still a little bit more like the earmuff size that I care for, but it has a little better microphone on it. And what you will notice is that the microphone follows my chin. I do not have it going directly over the mouth. Hint, and the reason for that is, here's a tip, is that many of us have hard P's, I know I definitely do, or T's, spitting T's they call it. And this will help cut that down quite a bit, so you won't be as P and T throughout your audio. The other thing I do, and I'll see that how it comes out when I download it, I have a separate audio recorder. And all you have to do, because audio is so important on your video, to sync them is to do or simulate a clapboard like they do in the movies. And now I have something to sync to. That's all you can do. Always recommend taking a separate audio. Now I have, as I said, about 100 slides, so we're going to go through them rather quickly. I want to let you know that this is a bird's eye view. Normally, I teach this course in a half-day or full-day format, so we're trying to squeeze everything into under an hour. I will be going over some basic tips that you can apply immediately after watching this presentation so that you can take your videos to the next level. The difference between this course and many other video marketing courses you may be taking is that they will focus quite a bit on the equipment. Use your cell phone if you have to, or I should say smartphone now. But what I add in is that I am a professional speech coach, so I'm going to add in some presentation tips. And I'm also spent 30 years as a business architect doing strategy work, so I'm going to focus quite a bit on the branding so that you are remembered and remarked about. This is something that is in marketing. It's called the law of diffusion. And the important part is that you have the innovators like those at Apple coming out with great equipment, or you have what typically we are all early adopters. We're getting into video sooner than most. Then you have the laggers. The laggers are the people that are still using corded phones, and just if they have a website, it's set like it looks like 1990, where it's all text and it's too wee-wee, which I'll discuss later. Now, that last year was the introduction of the Google Hangouts, which again I think is phenomenal for making quick video tips and bringing it over to YouTube. You can edit them within YouTube, or you can download and edit it yourself using the software. But the good news is in 2013, it's still within the early majorities of people using video to help promote themselves, their products, services, or their company. Social media is being accepted much more, and what you will notice is that the interface between YouTube and other social networks has also improved. The importance of video is that YouTube is owned by Google. And Google, even with their latest release of their new magic formula of search of Hummingbird, gives more weight to video. So how is your Google juice? The more videos, the more juice you may actually get. Now there's a little more to that. It's that you need to have videos, but you also need to have quality videos. It's not a matter of when you start, it's now a matter of how much you do so that you get noticed. Perfect example, and one of the common questions I get all the time is, but somebody has already done this. I inherited my mother's 1941 sewing machine. Had a need to use it, but couldn't for the life of me figure out how to thread the bobbin. I went to YouTube, which is of course the second largest search engine, and found 6 different videos on how to thread the bobbin. Didn't matter. Some were good, some were not so good. Of the few that were good, some connected with me better. So if you think about going to a bookstore, whether it's online or not, and you're looking for Italian cookbooks, there are thousands, but each one with their own flavor, and that's what video provides for you. You can add your own flavor, your own style that may connect better than with those of your competitors. I start every story with the success of video for financial reasons using Snowball. Snowball, if you go search on YouTube for Snowball the dancing cockatoo, was a cockatoo that was dropped off and because it just could no longer be cared for by its owner. And the owner took a really poor quality video, but because it was entertaining and so different, it was shared and shared and shared. I think they're up to about 3 million views at this point. And the beauty of their video is that it was so popular that they added advertising. So not only did all the shares, and because they were a nonprofit, YouTube allowed them, or Google allowed them to put a donate button, they also received money from ad revenue. Now, not everybody that watched it probably donated $1, but if they did, that would have been over $3 million for this charity. YouTube videos can be used to launch a business or to bring in additional revenue. Everybody's watching it. If you think about it now, you do more research that you probably know more about a person's competitor than the person that's selling the product. You have done your research. You have probably also done it on your smartphone. And what's easier to read or to watch on a smartphone? Of course, it's video. Much more so than doing it in text. And that's the power of video. YouTube is now improved to the point where it can be shared everywhere. Again, this video is being recorded through Google Plus Hangouts, and it's going to go right to my YouTube channel, ready for access. But the other beauty of it is that I can share this in email, on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, which is very good if you go right from business to consumer. But it also, thank you, LinkedIn, you now allow us to add a video. That LinkedIn, you can now do it, which is more the B2B type clients. I teach a basic process that I could probably separate into 3 different categories. The first one is public speaking. All the things I talk about are preparing for a speech and also for preparing for your business or product. The second part is going to be more video specific. You will hear many filmmakers and videographers talk about pre-production, production, and post-production. The last is really what's the added of social media, and that is promote, promote, promote. Promotion through social media is your responsibility, and we'll touch on that lightly. For planning, you need to know who your audience is. In most B2B companies, they have 2 different markets. There was a time where I had a greeting card business tailored to parrot people, but I had two markets. I had those that are buying the individual cards to send, and there were those that had the stores that they were selling them. I would make a separate video today for each one of those markets. So you need to know who you're reaching for a total target market, for your business, for a web series, or for an individual product or video. Info products, you could do it at different levels, and you can do it for a different target market. The opportunities are endless. To develop your story, though, because that's what really video is about building a story. And the story that I recommend for people for reading are two. Of course, it's Seth Godin, the guru of marketing, talking with his purple cow. And then the other one, it was a student of Seth Godin writing The Fortune Cookie Principle. That's a new book, and it has been phenomenal for me that I literally changed direction based upon reading it. The book is full of stories and examples and questions that really make you think and improve your business. YouTube and Google actually changed the whole format of YouTube recently, and what they wanted to make it is to target that you look the same whether you're on your Google platform or if you're on your Google Plus platform or on your YouTube channel. And it also looks the same on a tablet, a laptop, a desktop, and the cell phone. So branding, that means, is the most important thing. Your logo is important, but it's your story and it's your style. It's you that makes the brand. This is a relatively old story of something that used to be able to do on YouTube, is that you get to control your image. If you want to be a easygoing or a very serious style, that all is important. But the story about United Breaks Guitars is the result of a bad image on United Airlines. Their baggage claim and the way they broke this poor guy's guitar. The guitar then, when he went to try to get reimbursement or some sort of satisfaction, United did nothing. But a smart businessman who made the Taylor guitars gave a helpful video. Now, it used to be where you could actually respond in a video, but YouTube recently ended that. But you still could make a video that is in response to other ones that get known. And the key to his video was that it was helpful. Helpful in that he talked about not how great his guitars were, why you want their guitars over someone else, but how to pack a guitar for shipment. Videos are also for what could be stereotyped as dull and boring. This is an accounting firm. They did a flash mob video that was really for internal use. But when you look at the comments, you will find college students that say, hey, you're a really cool company. How can I join you? The key to making many videos is to find out who are the people that want to share about you. Those are the influencers. And you want to know, are they the ones that are watching your video and criticizing you, like the United Airlines, or are they actually talking positively about you? That is why it's important to control your image. You want to know who's talking and who's talking about you, and make sure you have a video that portrays the positive attitude that you want. You also want to look at your competitors. But just as the example was for Italian cookbooks or for the Singer sewing machine, you can have a similar video, just in your own style that may connect more with more clients. Preparing is that your videos must have the 3 E's: educate, entertain, and empower. And if you'll notice, this slide was actually used for presenting for those that were doing video chats. So you have to be good for your viewers, but if you're interviewing for a job, you also need to be good for the interviewer. You need to entertain them to a degree as well. Perfect example is Will It Blend? Here you had a blender that was pretty high on the scale of price, but he wanted to be paid for the quality of his video. The best way to explain to make it is this little campy studio with a white jacket that he used on, and he started blending everything from golf clubs, golf balls, and from iPhones. It was so cute, it entertaining, got his point across, his message across, and it got shared so that his whole series has tons and tons of views and subscribers, which is the currency. The key is to have 3 points. You need to have good content in context with what is normally forgotten, good structure. Content, you have to put out quality. Your message, your story, the information you're providing needs to be wanted by your viewers. In contents, is if you're talking about corded phones today, probably won't get enough views unless you're talking to an antique market for collecting corded phones. The part that is from professional speaking is your structure. There is actually a structure to be followed for every good quality video. When you're telling your story, you want to start with why, not how to, like how to thread the bobbin. The real issue was here was someone frustrating forgetting how to thread the bobbin on the sewing machine. The why was the issue. The how is what you produced, but you need to create or identify videos that fit the why. You need to be a little different. No one talks about passing a group of cows on the side of the road, but they would talk and share the fact that they saw a purple cow. Believability trumps credibility. If you're boring, I don't care if you're exactly on by, you probably won't get as many watches. And what it takes to be believable is your expressions. Your facial expression, your tone, your vocal variety, and something that is so often forgotten because it's the style of trying to jump on, doing jump cuts, which is basically eliminating any of the pauses, is a huge risk. Pauses provide the opportunity for the viewer to think about what you said. People can't watch and think and absorb at the same time. If you need to make a point, put a brief pause before and a brief pause after. We all know Billy Mays and his great commercials, and he would always be so high energy. If you can keep that up, that's a style. When you start your video, you're better off being middle tone, because if you always start high, you have no place to go but down, which actually takes the mood down. So don't go for the Billy Mays approach. Start medium and bring up the point when you have to, but then also lower it for when you have to, because vocal variety adds. Forget about your jokes. Not everybody likes your sense of humor. The joke is against you. It's much better to be friendly. The wee-wee test, I mentioned that briefly before, is that you look at these websites and they say, we are great, even many of the videos. We are great. We know how to do this. We are wonderful. We, and that is just forgotten. The videos are about the viewer. You need to measure how many times you're talking about yourself versus talking about the viewer. If this is for the viewer, they will be much more engaged. Avoid the I's, avoid the we's. You want to talk about you, the viewer. And that will prevent you from being boring. You're competing now with so many distractions. If they're watching their video, and probably, hopefully not, but you may be actually checking your email while you're listening to this video. Every second counts. You need to engage and keep them going through the entire video. If you notice, I was introduced, probably. But when I started my presentation, I never said who I was, because no one cares who I am until I provide something of value to them. Now, I did break that rule a little bit, explaining on why this is pre-recorded, only because I wanted to give some context to the fact and to let them know they are going to be able to ask questions. Script structure is extremely important. If you're planning on a 3-minute presentation, you provide a minute and a half to go through your points. You're allowed in the beginning, which could be your trailer. That's actually going out of style now, of putting a trailer in the beginning of anything more than 10 seconds. You want to basically say what you're going to talk about, what they can expect on the video. In the ending, your 24% needs to include, or your 26%, your call to action. And with YouTube, use that call to action throughout actually your presentation with the facility of annotations. And I will get to that later. Try to keep your videos to one topic and 3 main points within each topic, especially if you're doing something under 3 minutes. It's better to make many videos than to do one long one. Your goal is to build trust with the viewers, and the way you're going to do that is through building comfort. And the comfort is through engaging with them using their language. You want to have your message succinct and distinct. You want to be able to talk to people as if you're talking to one individual. There was a book I was going to write at one point called All Problems Are Solved in Jersey Diners. Because Jersey diners, you're sitting there with comfort food and you're talking one-on-one, maybe 1-on-3. It's a small group. That's what you need to keep in mind when you're doing a video. You want to talk to the person as if you're only talking to one viewer. You're not doing a major presentation. You are talking and trying to connect to one, and as a result, you're going to connect to many. You need to have a story. Your story has to resonate. Your story needs to have emotion. I don't care if you're talking about facts and figures. Add a story about those facts and figures that tie in some sort of emotion. Those are the stories that connect and get shared. When you're talking, you have to realize that not everybody has the knowledge that you take for granted. You need to talk to them not so much as if they're children, but with that level of understanding. The Big Bang Theory TV show is a perfect example. Watch an episode or two, and you'll see Sheldon, the physicist, who is a genius, trying to explain to the not dumb Cheesecake Factory waitress actress. She's very high in emotional intelligence as you watch the show. But trying to explain physics to her, you need to take it down to terms and expressions that she understands, and then slowly bring them up to your level of understanding. No one knows where your head is with your knowledge and your perspective. This is Seth Godin, and I had a wonderful dinner with him, and one of his comments was that you can't be that far advanced of the user, or you will be boring. You will lose them. Going back to the law of diffusion, if you think about it, if you have something that's for early adopters, don't expect the laggers to watch it. Instead, if you're trying to get somebody that's in maybe the late majority of acceptance over to early majority, they need to be in the one or the top end of the step ladder of knowledge in order to bring them slowly up to the early majority. When your message is succinct and you are dealing with a brand new technology, don't talk to laggers. Talk to early adopters. Practice is, of course, how you get in better and you reduce the fear of public speaking. That's amazing. That is one of the things that everybody is afraid of. It's like one of the top 5, I think, is people are afraid of public speaking. Well, the beauty of video is that you could always retake it. Even this one. Yes, I'm doing an open where anybody could be watching this Hangout on Air. Doesn't matter. I can download the file and I can edit out the oops, the skips, the whatever to kind of streamline it. I can improve the color. I can put in an extra slide, an extra point. There's so many things that don't be afraid. Practicing is the best way of getting through it. Now, to be a good presenter, you want to put your best face forward. Now, I want to quickly go into Google+, because what I kept on talking about was that Hangouts on Air is my way of filming, showing my age, of taping this for you, since I will not be able to be on your live event. The points that are important is the Hangouts, the events are the two things that will help you create webinars that people will pay for. You have on your side here, you look up your Hangouts on Air. You also make sure that you're for Google Plus, you make sure that the same wording that you put on your YouTube channel, you also put on your Google Plus page. Now, there are two types of Google Plus pages. There's the your profile page, your individual, and you can have a company page as well. Up to you what you do. You definitely need a personal page. Whether you also need a company page. If you're a freelancer, probably not. It depends on the branding you want to do. Now, the Hangout is a video call. Is really a Skype call. It is something that is not recorded to YouTube. It's only the Hangouts on Air that allows you to go immediately to your YouTube channel. You name it and you go ahead and you start inviting. Now, for the public ones that you want to have, you can use events where there's a little section. You're probably going to use a Google Wallet. This is something that's not totally leveraged for monetary reasons yet, but is getting there. Because the Hangouts, whether it's the video call or for the public view, allows up to 10 seats. Now, you take one of them. And you can use multiple devices if you want to take up other ones. For example, there is a cook that has 3 different devices set up. I think they're iPads, his iPhones, and he actually has a camera showing different angles of the food, the chopping board, everything else, so that he can use those at any time during his YouTube TV show. The point on this is that you can invite people that are in your circles on Google, that it's a great way to build your brand and your opportunities to sell to them later by getting and leveraging Google Plus. You have tools that you can create. If you notice on the bottom of mine, I had a little, what is called a lower third, so that my name was there at all times when you saw me. That is very important. That is the, if they don't show it here, it's called the toolbox, the Hangout toolbox. Lower third is one of them. You can do the screen share, which is basically what I'm doing now. All these tools allow you to create something where you can pull in a video, anything to create a webinar that is helpful to your users. Live event is relatively new. You need at least 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel. If you are in the video space, comfortable with doing videos, I would look into the YouTube Live. For now, I would stick to the Google Plus Hangouts on Air. The slide has a lot of text, something I don't approve of, but remember, I'm sending you the PDF of these that you will be able to get. Presenting, make sure you look your best. Make sure that you take the coins out of your pockets, men. That is, you are prone to jingle. Women, I don't care what you have to do to tie back your hair, that your nervousness shows by having your hands in your hair. Avoid the tapping, the clicking of the pen, and if you are a least bit nervous, go to a stationary chair. It is so common for you to sway. It's so easy, and that basically doesn't make you as believable. You do not earn trust when you show these little nerve signals. You want to dress appropriately. The cameras have gotten better. Lighting is an issue, where if your lighting is bright to show your face, you don't want to wear white. If your background is dark, you don't want to wear dark. You want to stay away from shiny objects. You want to stay away from shiny clothing like silk. You want to try to stay something where it's cotton. You want to make sure that it doesn't have a lot of pattern. Your goal is not to distract. Your goal is to pull people in. Which is an important point. When you're doing the webinars, when you're using something, you want to make sure that you look at the camera and not at the display. we all fall into that habit, and that's why I have the little look here post that reminds me to constantly look at the camera. Smile. I don't care if you're talking about the very sad or very serious topic. You can still have a little smile. Smile and you sound more energized. You sound more empathetic. Everything happens starting with a smile. Branding, as I mentioned, your lower third, you can see here I have the lower third, and as you noticed all through this that I used parrot examples. Why? I can't tell you how many times people have said, oh, I saw a picture of a parrot, I saw something on TV, and it made me think of you. I have this project, and I wind up getting called in. The other thing I always have next to me is water for my throat. And it's always a mug. You can go to Zazzle or Cafe Press to make one. It is a mug with my logo on it. You want to make sure you're talking with your audience, not at them. Words that are talking at them is if you use should, yes, but, any of those negative words means you're lecturing. You're not talking with. And remember, you're sitting in a New Jersey diner talking to one person. The way to do that is to add more questions. What do you think about this? Let me know what you're talking about if you understood this. Is there some way else you use this product? Throwing questions in occasionally just shows that you're talking with, even if there isn't any conversing. The other thing is make sure that you respond on social media, but we will talk about that in the promotion section. Process, you have to keep in mind that more commonly you are going to be, your viewer is going to be having multiple devices. There's somebody here that may be watching this, maybe also checking the news, anything else on on a separate device. The other thing is that people have different behaviors on it. Your smartphone now is a TV screen. If you will have a video with a lot of tiny text on it, chances are they're not going to be able to view it. You also, if you're trying to convey a message, you may not want the sound on. You may want to have more text in a visible size because they can't watch it at work with sound. You need to keep these in consideration when you're creating your video. The other thing is to always have equipment with you. Try it because you never know. You have the smartphone, maybe carry a little flexi tripod by Joby with you. Have something, if you're going to have a camera, use your phone as a separate recording device. Think equipment, and as I said, always use a tripod. If you can't put your phone somewhere where it's steady, keep your elbows in. That will help with some of the steadiness. Audio is extremely important. It's probably one of the main reasons why people will click away, is if your audio is just so bad, which is why I always make a separate recording. You can exercise your throat. You can have warm water. Caffeine and milk-based products will actually constrict your voice and you'll get much more scratchiness. You want to have warm water, possibly with lemon. You want to exercise your voice ahead of time so that your vocal cords are ready. And again, you want to have a separate audio file whenever possible. Software. There's tons of them out there. YouTube has their own editing software. You have iMovie. You have tons of them. Ones that are common are Camtasia, which is a product that will do screen capture. You also have templates if you want to use. If you go to something called Video Hive, you will see a lot of motion graphics that you can either hire them to edit, or if you are skilled to use some of the Adobe products like After Effects, where you can edit them as well. There are products like, you'll see many presentations now using Prezi. You will see them using animation software like Common Craft, Powtoon, Movely, Sparkle. Those are the common ones that I know that are right now at the top of the list. I'll put them in the list also when I do the answering of the questions. The key is that you have so many tools that are pretty reasonably priced that you can use. Some of them are free. If you want more features, you'll have to pay a licensing fee for them. This is a number that is extremely important. Tonight, watch TV, watch a movie, watch a commercial, and you will notice that there is a change in camera angle or a change in vocal variety every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds is to move a client or a viewer from the beginning to the end is key. If you want them to get really excited, you need it to move that number even down. If you want to slow to be much more romantic, you may go 11 or 12. But you will notice when you start watching, you can count that it's 10 seconds, you'll see a change of some sort. Hummingbird has changed. It used to be that you put keywords, keywords, keywords. Now it's phrases. People are searching for, how do I thread a bobbin? What was the results of the game last night? Who had the winning goal in the hockey game? All those are extremely important that you need to add in. YouTube provides a lot of avenues, especially location. So if you do want local business, you definitely want to fill in your location. You want to fill in your date. You want to fill in all these things that people may use for search. You have 5,000 characters to put your description. Use it. You can do transcripts. You can get transcripts done now for $1 a minute online. You can have transcripts. The other thing that is important is if you actually have points. Point one, we're going to talk, at this point in the video, we're talking about global climate control. And point 5, we're going to talk about what you can do in your house. Point 3 is how you can keep your, and that is at section 500. You're going to see actually almost like a table of contents for the video. That is very commonly now used. But whatever you do, make sure you put your URL in full HTTP format. Annotations. There is a great video out there called Hell's Pizza. And they created a web series that's like a game using annotations. It's one of the best I've seen. Annotations are great for where you can do pop-ups to encourage people to subscribe, to watch the next video, to actually link now to your website. It used to be only for non-for-profits. YouTube has changed it so that now you can actually link to one website, your own website. There are plenty of resources. Just search YouTube, a YouTube section. They have tons of things where they can actually help you find and name the title of your video. What's trending gives you ideas on what to do next. Like, for example, right now, you're going to start seeing a lot of holiday cards or holiday videos that are thanking clients for their business. Annotations is a great way, as I said, view playlist, view channel, anything to have people, because people are not always watching your video on YouTube. They may be watching it on your Facebook page. So having something where it's an annotation can bring them right to your website. Jumps within a video to another video. There's so many ways you can actually use. Again, look up Hell's Pizza. They're a pizza place in New Zealand. And it's zombie related, so if zombies scare you, you may not want to watch it, but it's one of the best examples I've seen. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. But how do you get known? Is by promoting, promoting, promoting. Building it and hoping they will come will never work. Because you never know. You need to do multiple videos because you never know what's going to spark the influencers to talk positively about you. It is your responsibility to answer any comments that you have on your videos. It's your responsibility to engage them, to post Twitter questions that lead to your video. It is your responsibility to promote, promote, promote. And to do it best is through conversations. Questions start conversations. It's questions that relate to the viewers that will pull them in. Your success is based upon your return of involvement with your fans, followers, subscribers. Now, this actually has changed a little bit now that LinkedIn has actually allowed you to embed directly a YouTube link. But it is so important to use all these. B2B more in constant focusing more on LinkedIn, and for B2C type clients, you're better off doing much more of the Facebook, focusing your attention there. Instagram isn't up there. That's important. Pinterest is extremely important. Subscribers, you want to try to get to the 100 subscribers, but you want the right subscribers. You're going to get a lot of people that are spammers. I usually delete all them, but you want to get people and ask people on through your annotations and through your videos saying, hey, did you learn something? Then please like and share. Simple as that. That's our process. We went through this rather quickly, just reminding you to always carry some sort of stuff with you and be prepared for the opportunity to take a video. You never know. You got the smartphone, use it. It is acceptable to have. Now, I'm not saying for all your videos you may want to go and hire a professional videographer, or actually use, if you're equipped with it, a better camera to create your own individual videos. A variety keeps interest. You just want to be a little bit more in sync. You have so many options that you can do that add a little variety. Talking head, you will notice on the Google Plus Hangout page where I was a little over to the right or left, depending on which you were viewing. That's so that if I edit, if I want to put anything up on the side, I can actually have that space to add in extra text because I forgot to say something. You can always go back and edit. The other reason is that you want to think of the rule of thirds. If you draw a tic-tac-toe board or visually in your space, you want to have the action in one of those cross points. Music. There is some free music that they provide, video that some of the software provides for you. If you want more, my favorite site is audiojungle.net. You can buy the use for a single use if it's around $25, $35 per song. Tons to choose from. Or you can actually, if you're going to create this for an info product that you're planning on selling, it will cost you more like $150 to buy. Create some motion graphics with a voiceover. There are many, many, many different voiceover actors if you don't like your voice. You can get one that sounds like a famous actor and one that just has one. If you need your video changed from English to Spanish, French, there are tons of video actors, voiceover actors that can fit that bill. You don't have to do this alone. Now, my style I like to do is a combination, and my website is actually being updated now with different videos so that people get to see me, but they also get to see that I could do some motion graphics. This is where I fail, is that it's a typical shoemaker story where I'm doing so many videos for clients that I don't get to do my own. And the thing is that you want a consistent style, content, and you can go off a little bit at times, but you really want the general to be within your topic. You want frequency, you want to post once a week and try to keep to a schedule so people can come back. And you want to put that in your channel description. Again, I lack on that one. But your goal is to try to get somebody that was a potential client all the way to being loyal, where they're going to talk positively and influence others to watch you. Your slides, most common, even if you're using Prezi that are based upon PowerPoint slides, you really want to keep your words minimum. Think mobile. Think about what is really visible on a smartphone. This book by Nancy Duran is a great book for helping you to build slides. Try to remove anything that's in anything that is too distracting. Yes, you have the 10 seconds. You're better off using different things than having all the fancy slide in animations. Keep it simple, the regular KISS method. Presentations, Presentation Zen, that is a great book to use. I think it's actually in probably the 3rd edition at this point. Is a great book for you to use to learn how to create presentation slides, use more images, embed some videos. All of that is also applicable to your actual videos. For those 2 books, Slideology and for Presentation Zen, I recommend you have a hard copy version because you're going to want to refer to it often, and it's just easier to see. It's up to you. You're doing internet marketing. Are you going to add video? You either do or do not. Now, as I said before, I had the slide in to go into questions, but we're not going to do that at this point. Email me at talktous@viditude.com. I will be looking at them hopefully on Friday and probably working on them over the weekend or sooner. I'm going to put all the questions, kind of merge them together into a document, into a PDF, and we'll email them out to you. If you just want the list of the questions, feel free to also just email me as well to talktous@viditude.com. Take a look at my website. You can see some things there, get some ideas to help you with your own video as services, and this is unfortunately the selfish self-promotion, where I will help people figure out what videos, what style of videos, what is going to help them to creating explainer videos, which is either with them doing demonstrations or for motion graphics, animation, or I will help them build info products, which is something where they can create to sell. I have a book out there on this. The YouTube section is a little outdated now that with the new changes. So your sizing of creating a background, it's that level of detail that may be out. But all the details about building a better presentation, some tools, all that is still applicable if you want to get your own download for your Kindle, your version. I hope you found this useful. Again, I apologize this is not live, but if you would like, you can please squawk about this, please share about it, put a comment on the YouTube page, or if you would like to put a recommendation that you enjoyed this seminar because you learned something useful that you can apply now to your videos in LinkedIn. Thank you for watching. I am reachable. Feel free to contact me, and I will see how I can help you, and if not, I can recommend someone to help you. I'm Pat Ferdinandi, YouTube Marketing Specialist for Viditude. Now let me go back to the slides here. And let's go back to the screen share. And here I am. So I wanted to say, let's use this hand. Hi. Again, notice I'm a little bit over and using one of the points. And I'm trying to think of any last minute thing I could tell you. Oh my goodness. I think that's about it. Oh, I was looking at the screen and I wasn't looking at you. That's it. That's all I can think of. I hope you've enjoyed this, and please let me know and see if there's any points that I forgot, so that if we do another session at some other time, hopefully we'll be in much better condition, and I will be of help in answering your specific questions. I'm Pat Ferdinandi. Toodles.